And welcome back to Let's Play The Lost Files of Sherlock Holmes. I'm Wadball, and let's get Let's Playing. So when last we left off, we found a new lead as to where the pendant ended up. And it turns out the pendant has the key letter that we're looking for. That proves that Anna Carroway has a relationship with Paul, Lord Brunwell's son. So now we ended up at the pawn shop where Blackwell fenced the goods, or at least the guy who owns this place actually got the pendant where Blackwell fenced it at the docks in Surrey. Let's take a look around, shall we? A small oil lamp suitable as a reading or night light. Its base is made out of Delft china, in the typical blue and white floral pattern. Not much to look around here. Let's see what this display counter has. The shop's glass-covered display counter holds coins, rings, pendants, bracelets, freestanding gems, and other easily concealable portable items. Let's see, what about this doll? A charming papier-mâché figure fitted with a painted china head. The doll wears a traditional cap of a Dutch dairymaid. Ooh, I like dairymaids. They're cute. Let's take a look at this cello. With its worn ebony tuning pegs and artificially aged walnut veneer, this instrument is masquerading as a handcrafted 18th century Italian violoncello. Let's see here. In point of fact, the instrument was produced in a Cheapside factory sometime in the last decade. Let's see, the phonograph. This is a Thomas A. Edison model, popular in the previous decade. This machine plays only tinfoil records, which have previously been eclipsed by the Berliner grooved discs. Starley bicycle? A stunning green safety bicycle manufactured at James Starley Works in Coventry. Smartly equipped with revolutionary Dunlop pneumatic tires, it promises to make all other types of velocipedes obsolete. I guess not. This large snare drum purports to be a replica of the type used by John Philip Sousa's U.S. Marine Band. I don't know. Watson, anything to contribute to this conversation? See anything you like?
Several things. That bike's a corker, or that cello might be nice. I could learn to play and we can perform duets, or perhaps two parts of Beethoven's Sublime Quartets.
Spare us both, Doctor. Mrs. Hudson has opined that even one musician in the household may be a superfluity. Oh, she doesn't like Holmes playing the violin, does she? Okay, Nigel Jameson. Let's go. Let's see, what about here? I would like to buy a few items and perhaps some information. All items are priced and marketed, though prices are negotiable. Information will certainly carry a slightly higher price tag unless you require directions. Okay, seems to be a little bit dancing around the bush there. Okay, time to attack. I have good reason to believe that you have recently come into illegal possession of an oval-shaped ivory pendant on a heavy gold chain. You may have reason to believe, sir, but do you have evidence? Let's see here. Which one do I do? Ah, here we go. This is the one that we know is true. I do indeed. George Blackwell himself gave me your name from his cozy cell in Bow Street. If you believe a word of that criminal, of an incarcerated criminal, sir, you are a fool. Good day. Time to try a different tact. Indeed I do. I saw you at the Surrey commercial docks receiving the pendant from George Blackwood. I doubt that. If you had no business to conduct, don't let me detain you. Alright, time to try the last one. I do not believe that I would have much difficulty in convincing the police that you were an accessory after the fact to the murder of a young woman whose pendant you received.
Murder? Let's not be hasty. I recall the pendant. I didn't know it was stolen. I can't determine the true provenance of every item in the shop. I can't guarantee the legitimacy of every transaction. I'm a man of business. I rely on the faith of my...
Save it for Inspector Lestrade, Mr. Jameson. Where is the pendant?
I sold it, almost right after I got a hold of it, to a private inquiry agent named Moorhead. He knows me, knows I deal in a certain class of goods. If you take my meaning. He has an office in the city. You could find him there, I suppose. That's all I know.
Well, guess the pendant's a pretty popular item these days. Has anyone else approached you about the pendant? I remind you to be frank with me.
Now that you mention it, yes. Shortly after I sold the pendant to Moorhead, one of my regular clients came in looking for a pendant. Though I used several means than you, he persuaded me to tell him whom I had sold it.
What is the so-called client's name?
Hunt. Robert Hunt.
What do you know about him?
As little as possible, if you take my meaning. He's what you know in my business as a rough trader.
Or at least he deals in rough trades. Huh, a rough customer, huh? Well, let's talk to Moorhead. Why exactly would Moorhead have this again?
Let's see, where is Moorhead? Here we go.
Moorhead and Gardner Detective Agency. Well, certainly if they don't have Sherlock Holmes on the payroll, they're not solving very many mysteries, right? Okay, time to take a look around this office. Looks like a nice, quaint office. Maybe Holmes should have one of these. A framed photo taken from the Aberdeen Illustrated Gazette. The picture shows a stern-faced provincial constable and carries the caption, "Officer Gardner foils burglary attempt." The man is of middle years and of otherwise undistinguished appearance. Let's see here. The door's locked. Let's see if there's anything we can take a look at. A heavy oak door with a secure lock probably leads to the agency's inner office. The names Moorhead and Gardner are stenciled on the glass portion of the door. The glass is opaque and at least 1/2 of an inch thick, making it quite a formidable door. Let's look at this old typewriter then. Villa Remington's name is written across the top of this old typewriting machine. Presumably, it was once a useful office tool, but now that many of its keys are broken and there is no ink ribbon in evidence, it is no more than a heavy paperweight. Perhaps it possesses sentimental value. Let's see. A conventional portrait of Queen Victoria, enthroned and costumed in her imperial regalia. Such a picture is often thought to lend an aura of solidarity and respectability to an otherwise tawdry commercial enterprise. Well, Holmes is one to talk, isn't he? Let's take a look at this. Receptionist. A meticulously dressed young woman. She is concentrating on her work in a manner that a potential client might consider rude. She is busy trying to tidy the desk, which is almost beyond help. Pneumatic tube. In the 1880s, a tube appears to penetrate the wall of the room behind the door. If it works properly, the tube serves as a convenient means of communication between offices and reduces risk of strained vocal cords. What about the cluttered desk? Cluttered with secretariat paraphernalia, the desk supports writing pads, sheets of paper, ink blotter, letter opener, paper clips, nail file, cheap novels, and a selection of teacups. Everything is piled precariously enough to court disaster. It invites the impression that very little work gets done here.